Today I will be discussing why we shouldn't use standardized testing in school. Since the mid-1800s, standardized testing has been a staple in American school systems. They were first used to identify students with special needs, but now are used to measure student performance and teacher ability to teach. Recently, the American government has put an increasing importance on the results of the test. However, standardized testing are not accurate and cannot measure students' performance academically. American school systems should not rely on standardized testing to measure students' academic achievement and teachers' effectiveness. There are too many negatives to standardized testing to prove it's not effective. I picked this topic because standardized testing has affected everyone. Furthermore, in this speech, I will be discussing the problems with standardized testing, possible solutions, and the advantages of switching to these possible solutions. The problems with standardized testing include they do not effectively measure students' performance and academic achievement. Students perform in different ways. Standardized tests do not take into account the uniqueness of each child with his or her own individual learning style. These tests only consider a small portion of knowledge. And in Philip Harris's article, Standardized Testing do not effectively measure student achievement, Harris explains, because a small sample of knowledge that is tested, standardized testing provides an incomplete picture of student achievement. Standardized testing have poor judgment on academic achievement. Measure of students' academic achievement is too complex for the social science method presented available, and those methods certainly include standardized testing. Figuring out how a student achieves in a classroom is too complex to be based on a single test. A student achieves more in a classroom with other students being taught by a teacher than they do on a test. Achievement is more than test scores, but also includes class participation, homework, and teachers' professional development patterns. Standardized testing discriminates against test takers. Schools are filled with a diverse population of students. Some of these students may be different races, cultures, or students with special needs. Many of these students learn in different ways, but are required to take the same standardized tests. Mika Isaac informs the readers in the standardized testing that it is impossible to create a test to accurately measure all diverse students. He strongly believes that standardized testing are culturally and socially biased. Another problem with standardized testing is that it encourages simplistic thinking. Studies of students of different ages have found a statistical association between students with high scores on standardized tests and relatively shallow thinking. Since the students know they need to succeed on these tests, they will try to find any way possible to pass these tests. They will generally not connect with the content they're being taught. This superficial style of thinking was positively correlated with high scores on tests like comprehensive tests and achievement tests. This can be seen in lower level. For example, a second grade may be taught how to learn, asked how to round a math problem. Instead, they might be given a task to round 59 to the nearest 10th place. The four choices they're given would include 60, 70, 80, or 100. The number they'd pick would be closest to 59. They would not understand why they are picking 60. Another problem with standardized testing is teachers teaching to the test. Throughout time, a teacher's main objective was to help students understand concepts. After No Child Left Behind Act was passed, teachers have had to change the way they taught so the student would know everything on the test. In many cases, teachers could lose their jobs because students would do badly on these tests. It explains that teachers are now teaching to the test instead of exploring students' critical thinking skills. This negatively affects students and the teachers by limiting what the content is learned or taught, taking away from knowledge that may be important in the future. Some solutions include digital badging, which is a software that allows students to practice content that is learned, and the data is collected over time. Another solution would be profile-based assessment, which would be combined work over time that could include posters, homework, papers, presentations, teacher-based tests. But the best possible solution, I believe, is digital badging. The software is cheap, and with the growing amount of technology, it go along with society anymore. It allows students to show that they mastered the skills, and if they didn't, it will allow the teachers to help the students understand how to master the skills. It'll allow teachers to post lessons and help with homework hints and maybe even help students with homework. Offers information to students' knowledge, and students couldn't move on until they mastered the content area. Standardized testing overall is a terrible way of testing student achievement. They should not be used in school. I discussed the various problems of standardized testing, listed some possible solutions, and given an alternative solution of digital badging and why we should use that instead. Standardized testing do not work and cannot test student achievement. We need to find an alternative way to ensure students have the best possible education. Thank you for listening, and that's my PowerPoint.